There's the count.
Get that out of the way. You want to do the?
Well, let's
Are
make
we?
sure it's working.
I guess we're live.
Are we live? Is it good? Excellent connection. That's nice of it to say that.
That's That is nice to say. I guess
Yeah,
I'm looking on my the streams.
I'm gonna pause our uploads today because we've had
I
problems with weird. This is a new option that I can do here.
we are live actually. I looked it up on YouTube and I tried to cough as it was counting down so it wouldn't cough on air, but it actually came off on air. So those of you that are going to use Riverside, we love Riverside FM, but apparently it puts you live right when it says 5 4 3 2 1.
It does.
So
I wonder if there's a difference between the recording and the live part. I guess
oh, that's a good point, I guess.
because technically
Um,
we're hitting the record button. I don't know how that works though.
yeah. Well, listen. It's nice to see you, Pat. It's I forgot to say this last time, but it's Thursday, October 21st, 2021, and we are coming to you live from Florida and Texas, I believe. Well, I
I
guess
believe
I
that's
assume you're
correct.
in I assume you're in Texas.
I assume I am too. Let me look out the window. Can you tell? I don't know how to tell out there, but I think
Yeah,
I am.
I can't tell, but listen, Pat. So we don't forget it once we get into our spiel and stuff. You want to go ahead and do our coffee break early,
Oh
so
yeah,
so
I
to
love
say.
coffee, Jeremy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's quite a bit earlier there. It's 8 o'clock here, and out west it's what, like 4 o'clock, I guess,
I
in the
think
afternoon.
I think it's 7.
It's seven, maybe
It's
it's
7
seven.
o'clock p.m. in the
But
afternoon.
let's go ahead and give a shout out to our Patreons, top five Patreons, or however many I get to, I suppose. We got Raptor, creatively spelled, Christina Kearney, Stuart Morrow, Brian Moses, Positive Waves, and Michael Sizer, who I believe lives in Canada. So who knows what time it is there?
Could be
It might
tomorrow.
could be tomorrow. I don't really know. I mean, anyway, thanks to all of you for your support, and if you're listening, thanks so much for listening. And we're live today, so if you want to call in, the details are in the YouTube description. So just click the link. Got to use Chrome, you know,
It's true.
if,
I could
and
have wrote that in there if I was smarter and quicker.
yeah,
And if
but
you're a crank caller, we're gonna hang up on you.
no, we're not. We actually love that kind of thing. We actually we're not quite popular enough to have that. Pat, there was
Yes,
this
Jeremy.
so so there was this radio host, and I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but his whole show was basically a crank call. He would play the host, and then he would play like several guests that just had these crazy ideas, and then people would call him just angry about how terrible his guest was about their crazy idea, and he would just mess with them the whole time. It
I've never
was
heard of this.
Yeah, the guy, well, it's still a guy. It's still Phil Hendry, but he just does it like on a podcast now. And obviously that doesn't really work when you're not on the radio because people are kind of in on the joke.
Yeah, they
So,
know. They're not just
yeah.
tuning in by mistake.
Yeah. I mean, and if you do tune in by mistake and if you're offended by whatever we have to say, then, you know,
Too
do let
bad.
us know. Yeah. So Pat, what do we have to talk about today? I know we got a list, but I think
Well, I was going to tell you about this sound treatment I did in here, Jeremy, because I don't know which way to look or point, but I'm pretty excited. I hope I sound better
yeah,
today.
I think so. I don't know. I just took it for granted how you sounded. I guess I just assumed that was your
Well,
natural status.
I can only sound so good. I mean, there's a limit. The bar is low for me, I imagine, for
Well,
just my voice that comes out of my mouth, not
did
the room.
did I hear that you told your wife that you now sound as good as you look? Is that
I
is
did,
that
and she
correct?
just laughed at me. She's probably still laughing
Well,
to this day.
I mean, she decided to marry you though, so I suppose it's
She did.
you
We
know,
don't know why, though.
well,
It doesn't make any sense, Jeremy.
well, that was nice of her, I suppose, and
It
nice of
was nice of her.
yeah, it was, and I'll say the same of my wife. So
And
yeah, but
my
anyway, this sound treatment.
yeah, I have a friend he's an actual audio engineer by schooling, and he bought some of these. These are just panels from Amazon. There's a soft panel on top, and we glued them to I don't know the terminology. It's a denser panel, and he actually bought them for his office. But
Yeah,
Jeremy's telling me I got to
we'll
wait a
get a
minute.
little illustration.
An illustration. I don't want to get too far ahead without. Jeremy's got a sound panel there.
Yeah, so so I hope I didn't want to. Hope I didn't like cut you short there or whatever.
Yeah,
But
no,
is
you're
this?
fine. That's the
Is
right
this?
idea.
But it's got a hard backing on it, not a. It's not
Well,
flimsy like
we
this.
added the hard backing. You buy them separate. There's about $50 worth of panels here between the two materials. We used a spray adhesive to glue them together.
Well, why did you need the hard backing exactly? Is that to hang them up
Well,
on the wall?
no, it's not really. I say it's hard. It's a denser foam, and my understanding from what he told me is the different densities absorb different frequencies of the words that are coming out of your mouth. And I'm rather deep, I think. So my understanding is I need the densest stuff that you can get. But he brought these over. We hung them up. He made me get my laser level out, Jeremy. And all the ones you can't see that are behind my desk, there's like 5 of them back here, are all perfectly in line. Then we put the laser level down and we hung all these that you can see. We just started putting them up. And
Just right. It's always the ones off screen that's perfect, of
yeah,
course.
they're absolutely perfect. So I might fix these up a little bit. But I thought, even when he did it, he does these, clapping his hands and stuff. I'm like, I don't hear the difference, Alex. What are you telling me here?
Yeah.
And then he left, and I recorded myself, and I can't believe how much different it sounds. It's
Well, that's
silly.
great. Is he feel like taking a trip to Florida anytime soon? And,
I can send him.
yeah. Okay.
I'll call him up. We'll see if he can get on a plane or a boat or something. I don't know
Yeah.
can you get there by boat?
I think so because you've got the Gulf of Mexico
Yeah.
or you guys call it the Gulf of Texas, I guess, right? Is that?
Well, we should. You would think.
Yeah. But but yeah, you could take a boat, I guess. I don't think
Yeah.
anybody does, but why not?
But I was telling Jeremy before the show that when we edit this episode, I'll get to decide whether my audio is better than Jeremy's or not. So you should leave a comment and let us know who sounds better.
Yeah, please do.
Because
Yeah,
usually Jeremy sounds so much better than I do. Like,
well, thank you. I suppose it's nice of you to say.
you're welcome.
One thing I was thinking of though, like with these panels, I have a few on my just kind of stacked up on my walls and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always struggled with how to actually mount them because you can use a spray adhesive, but that seems kind of, a little shoddy. And then you got to take it off. And honestly, I've found that it kind of falls down when I've used it before on other things. So I was thinking
Do you want to know how I did these?
Sure.
One tiny nail pushed through each one near the top.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yep. And they hold very, very well.
Did
It's
you
more
use?
like they're closer to thumbtacks than nails. They're the smallest. Yeah, I had an assortment of nails, and I found the tiniest, thinnest. You could almost push them into the drywall with your thumb, almost. They're
So did
so
you
thin.
have? Did you have? Did you use spray adhesive as well, or
The
not?
spray adhesive is holding the foam that you have to the denser foam underneath.
Okay. Okay. Well, hey, it looks like we've got our first guest. Is that popping up in your screen as well?
It
Pat?
is. How are you,
Nice.
Alex?
There we go.
I
Had
have
to
to move my screen a little bit here so I can see you. There we go.
Yeah.
had to filter through some audio options there for the speaker.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Well, hey, this is Alex. Alex, which not the Alex that you were talking about, Pat. Although Alex does have a bit of audio knowledge from my understanding. Is that correct?
I don't know if I'd call it knowledge so much as a series of mistakes that led to something.
Oh, that sounds like my life.
Yeah. Would you mind turning your input down just a tiny bit, Alex?
Oh God, it's maxed out. I see it here on the right side. What about? Is that better? Too much?
I think that's good. What do you think,
Okay.
Pat?
Yeah, you don't seem too bad.
Okay.
Checkity. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
it peaking earlier, and I was like, oh, how do I control that?
Yeah, well, that's cool. I'm glad we're glad you called in, Alex. Alex actually, we say he does something about audio, but he actually did the intro music for this podcast. So you hear that, I think you did. You know how to sing it, right, Pat?
I've been learning how to sing it. I have
Yeah,
been.
sorry.
It's true.
I saw that.
I'm not a very musical person though, Alex. I couldn't even carry a tune with a bucket, probably.
Okay.
But I do my best, and I have
Yeah.
fun. That's all.
Hey, I recognized it when I saw the video. I was, hey, that sounds familiar.
That means I did a good job.
Hey, and Alex, you were actually the first guest on this podcast ever. Isn't that right?
I think so.
Wow.
I think it was me.
That's pretty cool. Kind of neat to see things kind of come full circle. I know
Yeah.
you had some stuff you wanted to talk about, but I guess just last couple of years, what have you been working on? I know you had some really interesting jobs, right? You're working as a contractor for some neat
Yes.
places,
So when I
and
left the
you're
place,
you're a electrical engineer, correct? Is that accurate
y-
or?
yeah, by now it's it's not formal, but my title is actually software engineer by now.
Okay,
But yes, electrical was my real background in school and stuff.
okay.
Um, but to when we parted ways, you and I worked at the same company, and then I left there and went and worked for this contracting company. And my first job, I went out to the Gigafactory in Reno and started doing stuff for the battery tech there. That was it's pretty nuts. We were producing, by the time I left, we were
And
doing
the
450,000
Gigafactory,
battery
that's
cans.
the Gigafactory, that's Tesla's
Yes,
operation, correct? Okay,
yes.
so
Uh, yeah, we were doing like 450,000 cans in 12 hours. Cans are what they call battery casings.
okay.
There's little like vape-sized batteries, lithium ions.
So you were in you said Reno, is that right?
Yes,
Or okay.
That's
exactly.
not an 18. I was looking for an 18650, and this is the closest thing I have nearby. It's the glue stick from my 3D printer that I
It's
use
pretty
every
good.
once in a while.
So wait, these are actually 18650 cells, like about that size, is that or
It's
it's
yeah, it's almost identical. I have a thing here that's really similar in size. It's a 3D printed thing one of my colleagues gave me. I'd say it's almost exactly this diameter, but probably twice the height. So it's a little bigger, but not by a lot. They would use like 3,000 of them in a single car battery.
Yeah. The new
okay.
ones
So
are
it's
like they're 21 700s or something, aren't they? What?
I
I
was
don't know.
2018 when I was there. I have no idea what they're doing by now.
Yep.
But they make batteries for the power walls and the actual Tesla cars, correct? Is that
Yes,
kind of okay? Very
yes.
cool. So was that as what could I say? Not cutthroat, maybe that's not the word, but was that a lot of work as the reputation would have it?
Was your
It
job
was
a lot of work? Is what Jeremy wants to teach you?
How easy if I decide to go to work if I decide to
Like,
go
was
to
it
work for
9 to
somebody else,
5, or do you just come in at 2 and leave at 3? And
yeah,
yeah.
what would you say you do
It
here?
wasn't as bad as the horror stories you hear. You hear some really bad ones. It wasn't that bad. 50-hour weeks were the standard, and then you start going higher than that when there's really crunch times on new feature deliveries. The series of machines we worked on, it was 11 machines connected in series from the actual place where they do the process where they shape the can from a little sheet of steel all the way to the end where it's in a little bucket where it goes in for inspection.
Wow, that's awesome. And so you worked there for about a year or so. Is that
Yeah,
accurate?
yeah.
And then I know you were working on some automated warehouse stuff. Is that right?
Yeah, right
Okay.
now I'm still with the same company. We are building these things. It's an entire system. It's a warehouse management system, but it's also we have interconnected devices that have like a lidar map of the facility, so you can kind
Uh,
of tell them where they need to go to make picks and places and stuff like this. And then the warehouse management system, which is what I'm working on, we are in charge of kind of like picking where it goes. So it can be three-dimensional storage, like the thing we're working on right now is paper. So it's these like 8-ton rolls of paper, and they can stack 3 high. So you'll see this thing come in there, and the arm will extend like just it's like that's not gonna work. That's gonna break.
but
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 it
but
can.
these are actually like forklifts that just work
Yes.
by themselves with no humans doing
Yeah,
anything.
and it
That's
looks
that's pretty
even.
awesome.
It doesn't look how you'd think too, because you're used to something that like doesn't have a human driver seat. but this one does, and the wheel turns and everything. So it's like a
Like
person
Knight
can get
Rider.
in. Yeah. So just in case something happens during the process, a person can jump in and just take over. That way the production doesn't stop.
This is
Oh,
amazing because in
Yeah.
high school, one of my friends, his father drove the forklift that drove the giant rolls of toilet paper at Procter and Gamble. That they moved a big giant, I don't know how big it was, big enough that you couldn't see through it past the forklift, and then they turned that into small rolls somehow. I,
Huh.
man, he would have been like the man a year ago. I mean,
well, he would have got automated
Oh
out,
yeah.
right?
well, I'm just saying when people were like, begging for toilet paper, they'd like, the,
Yeah,
but,
I remember this.
yeah,
That's wild.
so long ago. Yeah, but yeah, so everything's been going well in your life, Alex. Everything.
Yeah. Weirdly enough, I somehow transitioned from where I was, opening and closing clamps on the production floor on machines, and now I'm building stuff in Angular JS for the web.
Wow.
Yeah, our my responsibility in the warehouse management system is UI development. So
Okay.
I don't really do a whole lot as far as like deciding which palette I'm going to pick and stuff like that. It's mostly just giving the interfaces to and displays of data and stuff like that.
Wow, that's awesome.
It worked
Well,
out. I like it.
yeah, cool. Well, now you have something else you're working on that you wanted to kind of talk about, right? Something
Yes.
software related.
Yeah, it's a little pet project of mine. I don't if you have you ever used TikTok?
No.
I
So you know what? First of all, why don't you tell us what TikTok is? Because I
I've
don't,
watched TikTok videos on Imager a lot when they go by. If the
not.
so I get I
Yes.
just get filtered to the very funniest stuff.
So yeah, my understanding of TikTok is it's owned by you know, I don't know. I shouldn't say anything too controversial, I guess. Anyway, why don't you tell us what TikTok is and how you like to use it? First of all.
So, sure. It's a content creator platform. Pretty much, in my opinion, a copy of Vine, like an unapologetic copy of Vine, but wonderful. The algorithm is a little bit better than Vine was. So if you're willing to commit the time, you end up with a feed that is kind of it's pleasing. You don't get the same old song and dance. If you dislike something that's kind of irritating, it doesn't really. They do a good job. It doesn't show up anymore, which can create echo chambers. But for someone like me, I'm not going there for political ideas or anything like that. I'm going there for comedy and like cool manufacturing processes. There's tons of content on there. It's unreal what people like. I'm pretty sure there's enough videos on there you could learn to build an entire house. I have so much stuff for construction on there. But
So,
the app,
so, but basically, so it just gives you a stream of videos, like one video after another that show you things that you're kind of interested in. So it's
that's
not so
exactly right.
much you don't want so much search for something that is just like, okay, this is cool, and you think this is cool, and it gives you more and more of that. Is that accurate?
Yes, and that fits for my personality type because oftentimes when I want to do a leisure activity, I either know exactly what I want or I have no clue. So this is nice when for those moments where I have no clue because it just puts it there and I'm like, hey, I liked that. Cool, like it.
Nice, nice. So, and you've developed something for this platform that you know I, people younger than me and Pat perhaps they know about this, but you know,
Yeah. So I built a little app, and one of the issues with TikTok is if you like something and it's really worth saving. There's music and tutorials and stuff on there that's really worth a rewatch, even though they condense it down to like 3 minutes. You cannot find it. If you have a series of liked videos, by the time, like, let's say 2 months has passed, you will spend an hour looking for that because you can't remember what the thumbnail looks like, and it's just not very searchable. So my initial inspiration was I wanted to be able to find this via tags, but then I even created an additional part of the app now where I can create like a playlist. So I can take a TikTok from somebody else, save the link, load it into a page, and then it's essentially shareable. And I can share this playlist with other people, and they never even have to go to TikTok. It's all embeds.
nice. Yeah, I
Very
checked out your
cool.
site. It's not knowing anything about TikTok. I guess I don't have much context, but that's sorry that
It's very niche.
no, but it is amazing how many like it's like, oh, that's pretty cool, that process that they're doing. So TikTok, there's no way to easily save a video that you've watched for later use,
Well,
or it's just kind
so
of hard.
it's the frequency. It's unlike YouTube, right? When you watch a YouTube video, it's 10 minutes. That's kind of short. They have the shorter ones usually, but that doesn't show up for me too often. Probably 7 minutes or so is about the shortest I get. So the volume of liked videos is much smaller. But with TikTok, they're 10 seconds. I mean, in one day you can add 30 likes to your catalog. So I mean, seriously, over a month, it's unfindable.
That's 900. That's and that's just a month.
Yes, it's a huge, it's unreal. Like I have a stats monitor on my app, and I've already added 2,700 tags. And that sounds like I'm on there all the time, but that's really just casual use day to day.
Oh, so
You add 5 or 6 tags.
tagging these videos. So you don't necessarily say, okay, you don't have a list of all your videos. You have a tag. It's like, okay, manufacturing, soccer. I don't know, whatever. You tag
Exactly.
them with different things.
Yeah, a memorable one I recently did was honk honk donkey, because the lady she's a homesteader. It's so funny because she doesn't claim to know what she's doing, but she's just going out there and homesteading, and someone told her in her comments she needs a donkey to protect her crops, or her livestock, and she was like, a donkey, like a honk honk donkey. So I just honk honk donkey. It's in my tags list now.
Well, yeah, because you'd think like the traditional wisdom would be to get a dog, but I guess that's not the solution. I don't know.
I don't know exactly what the benefits of the donkey is over a dog, other than its size. They're
Like
they're
like
a
a
fair
like
amount
a
heavier.
like a woof woof dog.
Yes.
Yeah, Red Dead Redemption taught me that you can ride a donkey like a horse if you have to. So
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's what that
maybe
song
they
was
have quite a
about.
bit of utility.
That thing
That
seems
wasn't
like
what that
all
song was
purpose.
about, Pat. Haven't you heard that?
No, what?
I'm not gonna sing it, but yeah, sorry. Okay.
I'm gonna have to look it up. Jeremy says I can't have adult things on the program. So I'm assuming it's an adult thing.
Yeah, I don't think it was Two Live Crew inappropriate, but in that genre, I suppose. Um, anyway, so
Are you talking about a Genuine song? Now I'm legitimately curious.
I don't know. I feel like if we were not live, I could just edit this out, and we could talk about it, but because I make these references sometimes to Pat, of these obscure rap references that
I totally miss all the rap stuff.
and
Okay.
they're pretty I don't know, and nobody would really get it, to be honest, Pat.
All
So it's
all the
not.
rap I know is either the Beastie Boys or anything I've heard in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Whatever's on the radio station there. I mean, I've heard that a lot. But if it's
Yeah.
outside of that, I'm probably pretty ignorant.
No, I'm fairly ignorant too, but there was a slice between the late '90s and early 2000s when
When you were cool.
I wasn't ever cool, but
Oh,
you know, I was talking to somebody. Actually, it was a guest we had on a long time ago. It was Pocket, actually, and I said I was never cool, but at least at some point I had like some context. And now I just like, you know,
You weren't cool, but you knew what was cool.
well, yeah, because it was like what's that store in the mall that like it looks like a beach cabana or something. Not Abercrombie and Fitch, the one that seems even cooler than that. Not that that's not cool. But
Hollister.
Hollister. Yeah, because I just remember being in my 20s and thinking I'm not cool enough to go in there. And
They see you come in and they point and they say no.
yeah, I mean maybe it wasn't
And
You leave.
it was whatever
No.
one was. It's kind of like dark inside, and I was like, what's up with that? That's for somebody else, I guess. But I think it was fairly expensive too.
Yeah, I
I
was
remember
gonna
going.
I was gonna joke and say that was Spencer Gifts that you're talking about. And I know it isn't, But I learned, this is off topic a little bit, but I learned just last week that those Halloween stores that pop up every October, they're all owned by Spencer's.
Genius.
Really?
Yeah, I had no idea.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
How do they do that where they somehow have a building, just like a random building that closed down sometime during the year? It's like, oh, hey, that's a Halloween store now.
It is.
How does that happen?
Yeah, magic. Magic. I wonder how much
magic.
it costs to rent a store for a month and
I don't know.
God,
I don't
you
know,
rake
Pat.
in.
decorate it.
You could have.
And then you have Home Depot just comes out. They say, "Forget you guys. We're just going to sell a 25-foot skeleton over here, so you don't need that store anymore."
You know, I mean, yeah, Pat. I guess you could rent that out, and you could put your helicopter simulator on there, and you could have people. You could have it could be like a prize, like if you can land the helicopter,
Win a 25-foot skeleton.
then you win a 25 skeleton, and if not, then I don't know. Maybe you know, I don't know. You shoot them with a paintball gun or something. You know, I don't know. You know, a little bit of actual danger.
Yeah, I do
So-
not want to get shot with a paintball gun.
No, I've been shot with a paintball gun before.
Me
That's
too. I
not-
didn't like it.
I didn't like it much
I don't
either.
want to do it again.
We're all in agreement.
Yeah.
Yeah, once was enough. Sometimes
So-
we learn our lesson.
Yeah, so if you're watching this is what the show devolves to when we're actually live. Apparently,
I think we're doing a good job.
no, we are doing a good job. I think.
And I did not get shot with a paintball gun.
Yeah,
There's nobody here in my studio. Can
I
call
was
this
telling.
the
Oh, hey.
studio now?
Sure.
Okay.
What's that,
Jeremy
Alex?
says it's okay.
I was thinking I should. I don't know if this is if this show has points, but I think I should get a point now.
Oh.
Oh, you get the first point.
Oh, look at that.
You're in the lead.
Look at
Look
this
at
cool
that.
thing.
No, that is.
I'm gonna control the volume real fast. Oh, it's louder.
Yeah. Well, I would. Yeah, well, I've got one of those too. It's.
I'm
upside
afraid to
down.
pick mine up.
Yeah, I know
don't
what
have
you
enough
mean because
slack.
I didn't know if I had enough slack either. I actually had to unplug my my cooling fan to put it up there because I've got it. No, it's the coolest thing though. I've got this is a JC Pro macro. It's on Kickstarter, and I've got it hooked up. I don't have it hooked up now, but when it's actually on my desk, I've got these two buttons where I can just turn a little PC fan on and make myself a little bit cooler. So
Does a
pretty-
little PC fan make a big difference in Florida heat?
it
that
does
just
actually.
enough?
Well, it's I've got it just over my keyboard. Maybe I can. Okay, let's see.
We're not going
Yeah,
to get
so
a
I've-
crotch shot, are
So
we?
I've got it right here. So it like blows across my my keyboard and yeah, I don't know, cools off my fingers, I guess.
Good.
I saw something about the kangaroos in the outback. In order to stay cool, they will try to find a shady spot and they will just wet their hands because it's the part of their body that has skin exposure, and that's enough to drop their temperature like 10 degrees F or something like that.
That's interesting.
It's incredibly effective. So the hand cooling method, there might be some science there.
Yeah, that's a good point. I hadn't really thought of that. But no, it actually I've got it on now. It does give me a little breeze, which is nice. But I'll have to turn that off so I don't interfere with our podcast.
I have mine today plumbed into OBS so I can switch to.
Ooh.
Oh, that's so cool. And since you brought that up, Alex, I so my cousin texted me. He's like, "Yeah, I saw your video on that Kickstarter video, yada yada yada. It was cool." He's like, "You should put that on TikTok." And I said, "Well, that sounds interesting, but I've yet to use TikTok, so I was thinking maybe if I was to send that to a friend of mine who used TikTok, he might be able to
Help you out.
upload it or whatever you do."
Oh, definitely. I have zero sphere of influence, but I can still get it on there for you.
Well, if you have more than me, certainly. I mean, I don't,
Since you don't have an account.
I don't have an account, so really you have infinitely more
Yes.
experience than me. So yeah, we'll have to chat after the podcast.
Yeah,
How long of a video can you put on TikTok? Is
More
it
than
I
7
think
seconds is my understanding.
yes.
That
I
was
think
Vine was 7 seconds, right? That was
it was 6 or 7. I can't remember for sure, but yeah, they had that hard limit, which was really it was interesting. It was the Twitter approach. I think even Vine might have been owned by Twitter. Now thinking about it, um,
you might be right.
yeah, it seems like it. And I think maybe they were kind of they were trying to do like a 140 character thing, but with speaking.
Yeah,
um,
that makes sense.
yeah, but so they've upped it now to where you can actually get 3 minutes on there, and that's actually that really was kind of what inspired me to do the playlists, because I keep thinking about it. Like there there is real educational material on there, and I find it to be very cool to be able to create like a playlist, so you could have, like, let's say you were just learning different trig properties or something. You have like a page, and then it starts going through cosine, and it starts walking you through the different functions that need to occur and stuff like that. And you can just break it down piece by piece rather than watching a 12-minute video about and trying to or even scroll around in it to figure out specific topic.
makes
You
sense.
just got to remember Soka. Is that how you guys remembered it too? They taught you
Yes.
to?
It is, but I bet they don't teach that anymore.
Maybe not.
It
You know,
doesn't
with
seem
this,
Yeah, who
politically
knows
correct
now?
anymore.
with the
I've
new
heard.
math and everything, or whatever they say.
Do you, on the rare occasions that I have to use trig, I have to use Google to look up the formulas, and then I write my numbers down, and then I've got an X somewhere, right? And I'm like, well, now
That's okay.
then I forget. Well, how do you find the? How do you get to X? I don't even remember how to do. It's been 20 years since I had to do this, so then I have to look up and remember how to do that,
I,
and
you know,
I
I,
feel
I feel like
embarrassed. And then I
I
have to turn it into code. Gets worse. Then that's a whole nother step, and I'm like,
Yes.
oh crap!
Yes.
Who made me
I,
do that?
I feel like going to engineering school. I feel like you have to take 4 semesters of calculus to make sure you never ever forget trigonometry. I'm not even
Wow.
kidding. I have almost almost never used calculus after college, but I used trig a pretty decent amount. I have to understand it, so it's like I'm not entirely joking about that.
Everything is a
No,
triangle or made of
everything.
triangles.
The, were you, out of curiosity, when you were having to Google the trig formulas, were you doing something with SVG?
No, well, with
Oh,
3D
okay.
with OpenSCAD to make
Oh, okay.
3D
Okay.
models. Yeah, and I'm trying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I recently had to do one of the components for that interactive warehouse I was talking about earlier. It's an SVG overview of the plant, a live view, so you can
Oh,
actually
neat.
see where all of your entities and products and stuff like that are inside. But one of the issues with that is, there are some things where you have to have like a precise calculation of rotation. And I was like, oh, how am I gonna trig, of course. So then, yeah. That
Yep.
still didn't work out quite right though, because the origin in an SVG is different from how you kind of naturally think about it.
Okay.
Don't want to go too in the
Yeah.
weeds with that, but
Sure. I remember when I had my first. I was in college. It was a co-op job, like an internship basically, and so my boss, who I actually still friends with to this day, he's he wanted me to make a circle on something without using a CNC, like basically with a milling machine. So I had to trig out every point on this, figuring out the circle and everything, put it on a spreadsheet. I actually got it right. I was pretty proud of myself. So that
nice.
was
This is like
um,
trying to draw a circle in pixels on like an Apple
Hmm.
IIe or something.
on an Apple TV.
2E back in
Oh,
the 80s.
2E.
E or
Yeah.
C. I don't care. I'm not picky. Give me a 2 plus 2. I don't.
Yeah, they act like the Apple II was such a popular computer, but it seems like, well, yeah, if you can include like the 10 versions of the Apple II that were, it seems like, I don't know.
It was
Does it
it
seem
was
like
a
cheating to you
popular
guys?
computer for a long time.
It was,
I
but
definitely used one. Big old math disk in the library. It's like you got to pull it out of a little case or something. I barely remember doing it.
Don't
8 or
copy that
9.
floppy.
Don't copy.
Was that like an anti-piracy
It was.
theme
It
or
was some
something?
kind. Was that a rap, Jeremy?
No, I
I
don't
don't know
think
how
so.
the song went. I only know the "Don't copy that floppy" part.
Yeah, I don't think that really worked on anybody
No.
because I mean, there were a lot of games I played on the computer. I didn't buy them for the most part. I mean, I bought some of them. Some of them I
Yeah,
did. So
I'm sure.
but some of them I didn't. So,
Man,
We used to
uh,
judge
torrents.
how good the computer games were at the computer store by how heavy the boxes were and how much stuff would shake around inside the box when you listened to it. If there's more stuff
Fair.
in the box, it must be a better game.
well, yeah, I guess it's guys. You gotta, if you got like 4 or 5 discs, then it's
Yeah, it's got
might
to be
have
good.
some, gotta be good. So,
Hmm.
yeah, it's you do wonder. I mean, I don't wonder that much, but we got our first computer and it had like 3 discs for Windows 3.0, and you know what I use now does roughly the same thing, yet it's what thousands of times more.
So much bigger.
But
I
I mean,
can't. I couldn't even tell you how big 3.0 was. I mean, it had to fit on. It had to fit on like a 28 megabyte.
Oh yeah, it was tiny.
oh wait, no,
Yeah,
it was like
Back
three
today.
discs,
Yeah,
so like 5 megabytes.
for
if
the
that. I bet
wow.
it wasn't quite that big.
You don't,
What?
maybe not.
An entire operating system. That's crazy.
Yeah. So, uh,
You ever see Temple OS? Did you ever read about it?
Yeah, yeah, that's the one that they're remaking. Oh wait, no, I was thinking it was Bios, but that's the other one.
Apparently, a very devout Catholic man created a OS around like the ideals of the church, and he built it all by himself. Like it was completely, it has all kind of stuff. He built his own games. He learned how to encode graphics into a text file, so it could. It was insane what he's done there with it. But unfortunately, he had schizophrenia.
so this wasn't even based on Linux. This was he,
From scratch,
it's his
completely
own
from
kernel
scratch for
and
sure.
everything.
I think he may have written his own kernel. I don't think. I don't think he used a Linux kernel. I
Oh, he wrote
don't
his own
don't.
compiler too. It looks like called Holy
Wow,
C, capital H, capital C.
really?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty funny.
He wrote an algorithm, and this was later on in the devolve of his sanity. He wrote an algorithm, and he would he thought that God was speaking through to him through the algorithm. So he would plug the algorithm into like paint programs and stuff, and it would draw. And he called it God art or something like that. It was crazy. I mean, he was a very talented programmer, just a little bit unfortunately suffering from that illness.
I just wonder how somebody had time to do all this. I mean, even if you devoted all your time to it, that seems like I mean,
Massive undertaking.
how many people does Microsoft employ to make an operating system?
Well,
A
not
lot,
as
a lot
many to
of
make
people.
DOS. DOS was just one guy.
Really?
I
Yeah.
guess you're right.
Well, boy, that's a long story to get
That is
into,
a long
right?
story.
But the idea is Bill Gates went to a guy who wrote something called QDOS, Quick and Dirty Operating System, supposedly was called, but he bought the source code, tweaked it a little. So technically, MS-DOS is two guys, right? But there was
Right.
basically an operating system there, right, that became MS-DOS 1.0.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would have never
So
guessed it.
I guess you're right about that. Yeah, it's amazing what people can do if they put their mind to it. I
It is.
guess.
I heard that if somebody put their mind to it, they could make a macro pad and
You
get it
know,
up on Kickstarter.
you're right about that. You're right about that, Pat. You guys all have one apparently, and so I
One.
get. Well, yeah, you have several, Pat.
I do.
But yeah, it's interesting. So years ago, I guess I saw something about like a rotary encoder to turn up the volume on your computer, and I thought that's kind of cool. So I made one. I think I milled out the housing on my CNC, and then years later, I was like, okay, maybe I could make something a little bit different. made it with a 3D printer, some buttons, whatever. And then I learned how to actually design printed circuit boards, which can be duplicated and look a lot better than my you know rat's nest of circuitry that I make myself. Um, so then I make something I called it the JC Pro Macro because it's Jeremy Cook and the Pro Micro powers it. So I thought that'd be a good something good to like set it apart. Not that I'm trying to like hype myself too much, but sounds whatever. Sounds like it stands for something. So I saw a few of these on Tindy, and then I basically at Pat's suggestion to some extent, he said, well, why don't you put some a couple more keys on there, maybe some more lights on it, and yada yada yada. I after several revisions, I came out with a JC Pro Macro 2 and put it up on Kickstarter. I don't know, that's quite the abbreviated version of it, I guess. But
It's a good story.
But yeah,
it's a welcome addition to my desktop. I use it nonstop.
What are you doing with yours, Alex?
Honestly, just the most basic stuff you can imagine. I really just start, stop, fast forward, reverse, next, back, all that stuff. Just the generic stuff that it's just nice to have it right here because I sit it right beside my keyboards. I don't even have to hit a function key. My left hand, I can keep my right hand on the mouse and just do stuff while my right hand's still on the mouse. I don't know.
Yeah, I moved a few things over to the macro pad that used to be on complicated key presses, like switch into my headphones and stuff. So I don't have to use two hands to do it while I'm, doing something else.
Well, nice. Yeah, I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. I guess I was just thinking as far as this goes. I love this. I'm happy with this project in part because it's mine. But it's just generally speaking. I guess inventing stuff and Kickstarter and stuff like that. I went through one process to make the first one, but then, I really feel like, Pat, you and quite a few other people on, that we talked to on the Butterwhat Discord and other places just really, really helped make it so much better just by their input and stuff. I think that just generally it's interesting to see how a project evolves and how, you get input from other people, and it can really help if it, you listen to what they say. And yeah, I'll say
you have to listen to the right things. You can't do everything everybody says, or else
and you're absolutely right about that. I was going to say, there were some things I had to ignore too. I mean, somebody said, well, it'd probably be a good idea if you instead of using the Pro Micro board for this, you could put a actual chip on there, AT Mega 32U4 or whatever. Actually put a chip on there, save some money. And he is right about that. But at the same time, it would have delayed my timeline quite a bit. So
yep, but then it wouldn't be modular. You wouldn't be able to put a Bluetooth controller on there like you can now.
Right. So there's other things. And then in the other thing, I'd really, the way I have it now, it's kind of reverse mounted. So you got the headers sticking up through the top. Well, after some contemplation myself and just talking to some other people, I realized it'd be way better if it just fit on there traditionally. So the next version is actually going to make it so it pokes in from the bottom, if that makes any sense. It should save
without the upside down pin headers.
Right, without the upside down pin headers. So that'll certainly save me some confusion when people will get it and they're like, "What's up with this? That just doesn't work." Maybe that'll still happen, but I'm guessing a little bit less. So,
we hope.
Yeah, we hope.
So what's your opinion of Kickstarter? What do you think of Kickstarter now that you've... you're successful now, right? This counts as success. Already,
well, yeah,
right?
if I fulfill my orders, which I 100% intend to do, I would say that's a success. It's successfully funded. Now I have to successfully fulfill all the orders. And, I'll say just not being at this point where I haven't, totally completed it. I would say Kickstarter is, it's a good platform as far as how can I put this? With the first JC Pro Macro, I put it up on Tindy. I was successful with that and sold some. But the thing about it is, you do that, you put up your first revision. I feel like with Kickstarter or any sort of crowdfunding platform like that, it really causes you to think and say, okay, if I'm going to produce 100 or 1,000 of these, what do I need to do to make it perfect?
You have to commit
Whereas with
to it.
if you're selling one at a time, you're like, oh, this is pretty cool. I'll sell this. Whereas Kickstarter or something like that really makes you step back and think, what do I have to do to make this perfect? And even though what I was selling before, I did think it was good. I do think it's good, but obviously there were some improvements that I could make. And even once I'd made the improvements that I thought I was going to make, there were a lot of more improvements that I could make. And I don't know, it just causes you to kind of have this point where like, I'm going to put out a product and this is going to be, you're never going to perfect it, but it's going to be as close to perfect as you can do it.
Well, I think
So-
you're doing a good job, Jeremy.
Oh, well, thanks, man.
Definitely.
I appreciate that.
Definitely. Regarding that, so what is the primary difference that triggers such a different viewpoint on your fulfillment side? Is it Tindy has less traffic, or is it because Kickstarter kind of funnels everybody into like a start gate where suddenly it's open and you got to fulfill the orders? Like what triggers that mentality?
Yeah. I think what you said is absolutely right, because Tindy, you can be successful in Tindy. I mean, I know at least one person who, I've met. He makes his living off there, and
Wow.
but with Tindy, you could make you could 3D print one thing and sell it. You're not necessarily going to sell a lot. You might sell a lot. I mean, Pat, I know you've sold a lot of some things and sold not as much as other things.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
No. More than I ever expected to. More than I ever planned.
but you can sell it you can say, okay, I've developed this is neat, I'll sell it, people like it, and they buy it one by one. They don't buy it generally 100 at a time.
Yeah, I'm not going into my garage and fulfilling 53 orders like you have to tomorrow. Not that you're doing it tomorrow, but
Yeah, I won't be doing it tomorrow.
you've got 27 days. But you don't really have these orders. I mean, you have the orders, but you don't have any information. It's not like you can start divvying things. You can't start today. You can't
Right.
start until it's over and you know what everybody ordered. And
No,
you
I
won't
mean,
know that for a month.
that's the interesting thing, because, well, one thing I did when I got 40 something orders, I went ahead and ordered the Pro Micro boards, because I figure I'm going to need these either way, and I can, if something were to happen, I could sell them probably anyway for what I'm getting from China. But just with the supply chain issues these days, I thought, well, if I'm going to have, this is going to be where my bottleneck will be if it's anywhere. So I'm going to go ahead and order that right now while I've got some extra time.
How many did
And
you order?
I ordered 50 of them.
You don't have enough.
Well, I did when I
Maybe.
ordered them. And then some of them are just the board and the LED soldered on, so that should be okay, I guess. So, and I guess the other thing, I guess the other shift in mentality, I suppose, is just when I started selling things on Tindy, I didn't know a lot about actually getting things assembled from China, and now I know I can get, okay, if I have 50, order 50, I can get it set up and yada yada yada, and get it in pretty much ready to go. And I guess just kind of an increase in knowledge over I guess the last year or so, and just like you said, you get that start gate, and you got to be ready to go.
You said Pat said 27 days earlier, and it reminded me of the Ring Girl.
Oh, that's right.
27
Oh, yeah. You
days.
have watched that VHS tape. You have 3 days.
Yeah, but I've got 27 days till it's over, and then I have until March to fulfill it, because that's what I said I would do. But I hope I can do it. I hope I can do at least a lot of them early.
Yeah. You'll beat that. You'll do better.
I think I will, but per
There might be
our
stragglers.
that's
Yeah,
true.
you don't quite get everything you need for all 3,000 orders.
Yeah, well, if I get 3,000 orders, that will be a lot of orders. In fact, I think I limited it out before that, because at some point, what am I going to do with 3,000 orders?
You're going to teach your
That's
kids
a-
to solder.
Yeah.
I know, I heard that's what Max said in his video. He said, I don't know who's going to solder him. Jeremy's going to solder him. His kids are going to solder him. We don't know.
Yeah, well, they're 7, 7, and 5, so that's plenty old enough to
They
put
got
them to
tiny
work.
little fingers. It's great. It's
Yeah.
perfect for the dexterity. And
Yeah, and they're small, so they can get closer to the work. They can get right in there.
Yeah, but they might spill like snacks and like raisins on it or something or whatever.
Why is there a
You know,
raisin under this key? What happened?
yeah, yeah. You should. Yeah, you don't want to know what all the stuff was under their car seats back. It was uh, every time it's like it's like you have kids. It's like you're going into. Well, I shouldn't say you're going into the army because you were in the army, Alex. So I don't, but it's like you got to learn how to field strip a. Strip
M16.
yeah, you got to learn how to. You learned how to field strip an M16. I learned how to field strip a car seat. Soon.
Oh, an
I would.
F-16. So that's a plane.
No, I don't.
Oh,
I don't think any of us know how to do that.
No, no. Just the M. A couple of M's. I can do a few of the M's, but not none of the F's
Yeah,
by no means.
and no, I'm not. I'm not trying to compare the two exactly, but I do.
Oh,
I mean, perhaps I was comparing. I don't mean to. I mean no disrespect.
it's
If that
easier to
makes.
care for a M16 than a child by an imaginable margin.
You can't leave either one alone in the car
Or in
on the
water.
passenger seat, or in water, or at the grocery store. I'm,
Yeah,
Left my rifle at the bilo.
yeah, yeah. Either of them, if you submerge them for too long, they don't work very well.
No.
Only, and you get in trouble for both cases.
Jeremy, I've
Someone's
been
gonna
doing a
be
bad
mad.
job. Have you been paying attention to the chat?
No, I haven't.
Does
So
the fan on your macro pad, does that make you cool enough to go into Hollisters?
oh no, you know what? It doesn't. It doesn't even make me cool enough to make that joke. But apparently, whoever made that was that cool. So I think you've earned your way into Hollister. Whoever I don't even see the chat, but
I can assure you that Brian is not cool enough.
oh, that was
Even if he made
Brian.
that, it was Brian. He's not cool enough to
I mean,
go
he
into
might have.
anything.
I mean, that joke.
It was pretty
I
good.
feel it was pretty good. So I feel like you're at least cool enough to go into Abercrombie and Fitch at this point, or or Macy's at least.
Yeah, I don't even know which one's cooler than the other. That's how uncool I am.
I think Macy's isn't that cool.
Oh well, yeah, I knew that. That I knew. They have a Thanksgiving parade. How cool could they be?
Hey, so listen to this, Pat. It's off the subject, of course. But so I'm doing my wedding registry years and years ago, right? And the lady's like showing us different plates and stuff, and she's like, "Well, this is from the Martha Stewart collection." And I said, "Martha Stewart, isn't she in jail?" And she didn't think that was very funny. I don't think anybody thought that was funny.
I think it's funny.
I thought it was funny.
And her and
And
Snoop Dogg sell a lighter now
they
with a
do.
long reach on it
They do.
for candles and other things. It says on the ad. It's pretty
Asterisk.
fantastic.
Yeah. I really sidetracked our conversation there, but
Well, it's my fault. I'm the one who drove us down to Hollister's
yeah.
to
Do you
backtrack.
now do you think if my macro pad is successful enough, do you think they might sell it at Hollister?
Do they? What do they sell there? Pants. Sure.
Pants and underwear possibly.
They'll
So
just take the knob, turn the volume on the music in the store all the way up, and then break the knob off because that's why you can never hear anybody talking in those places.
Oh, I don't.
That's-
Abercrombie would do the same
point.
thing.
hey,
Do you guys shop at brick and mortar stores often?
Target.
I went to the wood store, the fancy wood store, with my wife the other day.
okay.
Lowe's?
Looking for real, but not lumber, but nice hardwoods and stuff. And they have tools and things. It's so hard to find. I mean, maybe they're just poorly set up. I don't want to. Yeah, I do most of my shopping on the internet, where you can just type in, you punch in what you want and what size. Like, I know I need a new hose for the vacuum on my CNC, so I'm like, oh, they have a section with hoses. And I can't figure out easily. You have to pick up all the boxes to figure out what sizes and diameters and lengths they are. And there's no prices on the box. I don't even know how much they cost. it was a lot of, you spend a lot of time just trying to figure out what they're trying to
Yeah.
sell you.
No, I mean, you're right about that because
I'm so
I've,
spoiled.
be- I've been in home. I just remember being in Home Depot or something like, I can't quite find this nail. I'm like, I guess I could just look it up on Amazon and send it. But I mean, it's there, and that's just so lazy of me. But I don't know.
I've been asked multiple times by multiple people to build an app that tells you where things are in a store. Like basically exactly what you just said. I need a search bar for the store.
But if I have that search bar, I could just tell them,
You just
deliver it to
order
me
on
tomorrow,
Amazon.
Amazon,
Yeah,
or somebody. Just send it to my house.
yeah. I mean, you're not
It's
going to walk to the back of the store for that.
Yeah, because I'd have to go home, get on the computer, search for the thing at Home Depot, and then go back to Home Depot. No, I'm kidding. I'm not that old. I have a smartphone.
Yeah,
I'm,
I have a. I think I told you I don't have a data plan, Pat.
I
So
saw. I don't.
I'm actually
I can't
slightly
even
younger than you.
fathom this, Jeremy. This is my mind doesn't
How?
understand. Jeremy, my parents' lines on my family plan, they don't have data plans, but for like 8 years,
That's
they
right.
still had 500 meg of data because that was the minimum that you could have on a line with T-Mobile. That was just what they got.
Huh.
So they
Well,
had
You have like
data.
a cricket?
Yeah.
no. Well, it's it's called
Is it
Republic
Bell? Is it a
Bell. Yeah, yeah.
Bell?
Ma Bell, as they call it. Yeah, I don't even pay for the phone line. I just use my Captain Crunch whistle and whistle through the
That's 2600
yeah
hertz.
2600
Yeah,
hertz. That's right.
I'm aware.
No,
I
I
understand that reference.
yeah. Maybe hopefully people listening will because that's it's not a rap reference. You
It is
people,
not.
you guys. Um, yeah. So no, I use Republic Wireless, and that they I don't know. It was a whole thing. They had like basically they had a plan that was $5 a month, and you could only use it like when you were on Wi-Fi, and then now it's 15. So I feel like I'm paying so
And you
much.
still have to be on Wi-Fi?
Yeah, you gotta be on Wi-Fi, but you can like send texts and talk on the phone and stuff, just not use the data.
I'm already crunching numbers in my head trying to figure out what we pay and how many lines we have and
No contract, 20 a month.
Oh, was it 20 a month now? Man,
that's more
That's
than
what
I
they're
pay, and
claiming
I
here.
have unlimited data on most of our lines.
okay. I don't know. I guess it's not entirely the money. It's kind of like I like the idea that I'm not like totally connected all the time. That I'm, because I'm on
Mm.
Wi-Fi most of the time anyway.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
know this feeling.
I work from home and you know, work
When
from
we
home.
moved into
So
this house and our internet install did not want to go well, we streamed Netflix to 2 TVs for days over mobile data. Days and days of Netflix over T-Mobile.
It's great in a pinch in hotels when the Wi-Fi is not working or if you just don't have any good channels. It's really great to be able to stream, just do whatever you want. That's
nice. Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll switch eventually, but
But
it's just
I know how you feel, Jeremy. Everybody's talking about all these exciting phones in Discord. Everybody's talking about the Pixel 6, and I'm jealous of everybody getting Pixel 6s. But what do I do with my phone?
Pixel 2.
Which one is it?
The 2.
The 2, you're one behind me. I have a 3A. Well, one and a
Yeah,
half behind, or less than one behind.
I don't actually know.
Yeah, the 3A is the cheaper one, the one that comes out later that's not as good.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's not really 2 ahead, but
uh,
It's been a trooper. It's starting to get now to where because I'm spoiled, the load times
yeah.
they're not there.
I mostly
I'm happy
complain.
about the
Most
6.
of the things that are slow on my phone will be slow on any phone because it's waiting for data. Like you open
That's a good point.
IMDb and the page comes up that has whatever movie ads are on there you're waiting for. You
It's
open Twitter, it's
HTTP
waiting
thing,
for
yeah.
Twitter to come down and fill in your.
Yeah.
That bums me out. That won't get faster. Not for a
I,
while.
I was thinking and hoping that using a phone without the data plan would reduce the tracking, data tracking of companies and stuff on me. But I'm actually not thinking that's true at this point because I was doing some research for a story and it was talking about how you basically even these yeah, that's a nice sticker you got there.
Did I do a good job, Jeremy?
Yeah.
That came today.
Oh, yeah, it was talking about basically how these apps, like even if you're not connected, basically they'll download your information like once they connect to Wi-Fi or whatever.
Yeah, and your phone.
I don't know how true that is or what,
Oh.
but
We can do a throwback to TikTok. Apparently, there are all sorts of I don't even know what the proper term for it is. Like they can even execute scripts and stuff with that app on your. Yeah, it's wild. It's pervasive. The only reason I don't care is because I did some research on my cookies, the just browser-based cookies, things that I do not have a Facebook account. I do not do anything with Facebook, but Facebook has many cookies on things that I've been doing, and it's because other websites will share your cookie data with them. So it's almost no way to not participate. There's no way to opt out from Facebook.
Any website
tracking
that has ads from that Facebook sells. Anybody
Exactly.
that has a like button, a Facebook
Yes.
like button, you're gonna get
Yes.
you're gonna get tracked.
Yep. And they have my email address, so it's like, what's even, I hate to feel that way. I hate to be defeatist. I'm not normally, but it's like, golly, how can you avoid it without just disconnecting, cutting the wires?
yeah, no, it's true. It's,
And then you have to work really hard and actually go to physical stores and pick out things and look at the prices
yeah.
and
Sift
pay
through
cash. Oh my goodness.
I went to, there was a restaurant my wife and I went to a week or two ago, and they had some nice shirts there. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I'll see. So I'm trying to like figure out how much they cost to buy, and they don't have any like labels on them. I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird. And so then I finally found some, lady to ask, like, oh, how much are the shirts? She's like, oh, they're between $20 and $25. I'm like, why are there like, there's no prices on them? She's like, yeah, you just take them to the register, and then I'm thinking like, so I basically, like, yeah, I just thought that was, I don't know, I want to know how much I'm paying. What's that?
Is it mood based? You bring up the shirt and they're like, it's between 20 and 25. What is it? 20.
Maybe it was 20 and 24. Maybe like a little more accurate, but that was like, yeah. Maybe I was thinking like your size, maybe, but maybe that wasn't.
Or maybe
even
the
it.
style. Maybe different styles are different.
Maybe, but like some of the shirts had, some of the other style shirts had, and pants had prices on them that were quite high.
Pants too. At a
They had
restaurant?
pants, yeah. Well, it was weird. They had like
just
this
in
little.
case you spill your spaghetti all over your lap, they got you covered. That's probably.
I didn't think about
especially for
that.
an Italian restaurant, because that's what you're gonna do.
Yeah, hadn't really thought about that tack. Yeah, they had
Olive Garden oopsie collection.
Yeah. Oh, I did it
Well,
again.
they had pants,
Tell me some
shirts, and
pants.
they had lobster tails as well that you could buy. So they had a variety of things.
Wait a minute.
it
That
was-
you could eat, or the lobster tail was.
No, they just
gimmick?
sold you the lobster tail, and then I guess you had to cook it somewhere else.
Oh, so
which
not
is
like
almost-
a clothing, not like a costume, like a kid's. Like
No,
Burger King has the crowns. I'm just making sure. I'm building a picture here.
How much did you pay for your last Burger King crown, Pat?
Do they charge you for that?
Well, I don't know, but
I don't either.
I
know I
don't
had
think
a Krispy
I don't
Kreme hat one time. The Pamper Krispy Kreme hat when I went in.
No, I don't think they do, but that'd be quite the good scam if you worked there. It's like, oh, it's 50,
Sell them. Yeah, $3, $4,
$5.
Oh, that's too much. How about $1? I'll take a quarter. Give me a nickel. Fine. We'll work something out.
You got any change under the seat?
got a raisin.
My macro pad raisin.
Can you trade me a macro pad for this, please?
Now I'm going to need to make a video. I'm going to have to. I wonder if I have any raisins. I could hide one in here. We could go spelunking and see if we can find it in there on video.
Is that how you pronounce that word? Because I've only ever seen
I
it
know that's
written.
it's spelunking, but
Okay.
it's fun to say some words.
I was questioning it myself. Oh God, I don't know if
Yeah.
I've ever heard anyone say it.
It's a good word, but I don't think I've ever been in a cave. So
You've never been in a cave. That's
I
interesting.
don't think I have.
Huh?
That's probably
That
good.
is interesting.
I've been in a coal mine.
That's kind of like a cave.
But it's not a. But it's a hole somebody dug. It's a. I mean, I know it's a deep, complicated hole, but it's still somebody dug it. A cave is. I don't know, something out of Scooby Doo, right? There'd be.
Yeah, that's accurate, I think.
That's where the
Turns out I was a mine the whole time.
whole time. If it weren't for those meddling kids.
There was where I used to live and where Alex still lives, there's actually a tunnel there that it's like carved out, it's like what, this sump house tunnel, you've seen that or probably been there, right, Alex? I assume.
I don't think
Anyway,
so.
there's this tunnel that I think was supposed to be like a big railroad junction in this small town, basically. This was supposed to have some big transportation effects basically on the area, and they only dug it out like a mile or so. Basically, you can just walk back there and it just ends. And apparently, on the other end, you could go back there, but now there's a lake that covers it because it's not through all the way. And anyway,
It just
This is where
abandoned it. I didn't know
what
about
he's
this.
telling you is this is where the cool kids had parties.
yeah.
It's the original Hollister.
Yeah, that's right.
There's a hole in the ground.
Yeah, well, they just kind of abandoned it because the Civil War happened, and that's
Fair reason.
put a kink in things, I guess.
That's
Yeah.
a scary old tunnel to go into.
Yeah,
That old.
it was pretty old, but anyway. So Pat, I guess what else we got on the list here? I
We've
guess
got a list.
we're going to talk
sure
about
have.
what we were watching, so I think that'd be kind of interesting to hear what Alex has to
Yeah,
say.
hopefully Alex is on board with something we've got on the list. That would be even
Sure.
more exciting.
Yeah, or I'm just thinking if there are more technical things we had to talk about. I can't. I'm trying to think if I had anything else to say about Kickstarter, but well, I'll just say it took a lot to get it all together, and I'm glad some people helped me, like you, Pat, and some Alex as well, and just it's great to get input from others, but yeah, at the end of the day, I guess you just got to put it live and see what happens. So,
And I'm sure we'll do an episode in sometime after 27 days to talk
Yeah.
about this. After
Yeah. yeah,
And then another one in March to tell everybody how terrible it was mailing all these packages. How,
Yes.
how
yeah.
onerous of a task it was.
If that's okay, if that's the case, if it's a show where it's like, where I'm like calling in from, South America and I absconded with all the money,
Because somehow
or
you
whatever.
sold 500,000 of them. And
Yeah, and I wouldn't,
you moved in with Pablo Escobar, and he's going to teach you how to launder that money.
Yeah. Well, that
It's a new season of Narcos.
didn't turn out too well for him.
But Jeremy, what are you watching on TV?
So yeah, I gotta tell you guys, I started watching the Squid Game. I don't know if you guys have heard or seen this.
I've heard of it, but
I've heard of it.
I said no. I said I'm not going to watch it.
You said no.
I did. I said no. This and the Tiger thing, the Tiger King from last year. I said no.
Oh, Tiger King.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the Tiger King. That was he's quite the character, quite the amalgamation of things that you wouldn't expect in the same person.
Now,
I
see,
suppose.
I heard that the Tiger King
Very
is the Wario to Steve Irwin's Mario. I don't know if this is true, but this is what I keep hearing. And the
That
pictures
is-
sure make me believe it. I have no idea how true it is.
I mean, yeah, I guess that's true. I'll say I haven't watched Steve Irwin nearly as much as I did the Tiger King.
It's a good analogy.
I
Yeah.
like it. I don't care if it's true. I like it. And
Yeah, Steve Irwin was like really classy stand-up, going out of his way to do good things for people, and Tiger King was really not classy, really going out of his way to do bad things to people.
yeah,
Yeah,
I almost met Steve Irwin once.
really.
Really?
Yeah, I was visiting across the canal from my office. They used to record the Kid Craddock radio show, and I'm looking out my window, and there's all these. I thought there were a whole bunch of Boy Scouts over there, but it was a bunch of children dressed just like Steve Irwin because he was over there. And people in the office said we should go out there and go meet him. I'm like, but there's all those kids should meet him, not us.
Yeah, not
They're busy. He's
adults.
busy with all those children. I mean, you could see there was one taller Boy Scout in the crowd, so that was probably Steve Irwin.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, that's the famous person I almost met because of the radio show. The famous person I did meet, I'm told, I didn't even know this, was Shakira.
Oh, really?
We said hello to her when we were walking by to get our breakfast. And when we went back, somebody explained to us that was Shakira, and we didn't even know who she was. We didn't know anything. This would have been like 2000, 2001 or so. This was a while back, 20 years ago.
Did she speak normally, or did she speak
I don't
in
even
song?
remember. I just, just said hello. I say hello to everybody. It's just what you do. Hi, how you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You think
Good
like
morning or something. Yeah.
she would say like Shakira, and she for her greeting.
Hello.
Yeah. But I'm sure she doesn't talk like that normally.
I couldn't even tell you. I don't remember. I only know that I met her because people told me I did. So it's I'm oblivious.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm trying to think. I can't. I don't remember the guy's name. I can't remember people's names, unfortunately. But there was who's the fairly old guy that's like a college football sports commentator. Yeah, you guys don't.
John Madden has a video game.
Not John Madden.
So I know who that is.
The guy that always puts the mascot head on himself. You guys don't watch football, do you?
It's true.
Not do sports.
Anyway, I was at a Clemson football game, and I'm like 90% sure like he was like with his bodyguards walking from one end of the stadium to the other, and like his bodyguard shoved me out of the way or something. Or no, he didn't really shove me out. I think I just like barely brushed him.
Oh.
They were just
shoved.
Shoved. I mean, like maybe like barely made contact.
Punched him in the face. Got him.
Yeah.
Hey, you're a big fella too, though. It's how can I call it? A somewhat comical mischaracterization.
Yeah, they did, but they were whoever it was. Anyway, whoever was that guy's bodyguards were much larger than me, and yeah, I am a pretty big guy. So
wow.
Yeah. So, but yeah, he didn't. Yeah, I think maybe our shirts barely touched or something. So.
Now you got me wondering if Shakira had bodyguards. I don't remember anything.
You would think she would.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was just standing outside the door of the radio show, I think.
But I mean, I guess if you saw her in real life, you wouldn't. I mean, you wouldn't necessarily recognize. You didn't recognize her.
No, I didn't. Well, I didn't even know she existed at the time. She was not new. She was new new to me. We'd have to look that up.
Yeah, they probably played her music in Hollister.
But somebody told me she's like Britney Spears. I said, "Oh, okay."
She's similar. She's like what Brazilian, right? Is that right?
I don't know.
Maybe.
I have no idea.
I don't either. It'd be a better story should I study this stuff so I have better answers the next time I tell this story. I tell it like once every 5 years.
Do a Shakira fact from here on every episode.
Yeah. So anyway, I've been watching Squid Game. It's my wife. So my wife and I watch TV together. It's about I don't really watch that much TV, but we'll watch a bit at night and stuff. And I was trying to convince her to watch it, and she wasn't really down with that because it looks, as you guys apparently came to the conclusion, it's kind of a ridiculous show. But one of her friends, who you wouldn't necessarily expect, she told her it was really good, and then we got through the first episode and they started shooting like a couple hundred people, and spoilers, I guess, but.
Well, should we watch it?
Well, I'm only like 2 episodes in. I'd say if you can get past the bad lip syncing Syncing, is that the right word? Then yeah, it's
The
not
dubbing.
bad.
It's
The
dubbed.
Oh,
dubbing.
it's dubbed. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it's because it's a Korean show, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
mean, I could.
I'm
watched.
saying if I'm
It says it's a Netflix original, but they're all in Korea and they're speaking Korean, so I think they probably got it from Korea.
I've
They
been
might have
saying that
funded
if I'm
it.
going to watch something dubbed, everybody tells me I need to watch the German show Dark on
Great show.
Dark.
Netflix. I have not seen it yet though.
Okay, I'll have
It's
to
good.
Yes,
check.
I like it a lot. Do you like a little? Do you like timey-wimey stuff?
Yes, I'm a
Oh
Doctor
yeah.
Who fan.
Hey, okay.
Tommy
Yes,
Wimey.
yes. So it's definitely timey-wimey. It's and it's a fun spin on it too. It's not quite so
Okay.
fantastical. It's like it's yeah. It's a fun concept.
The last time I felt like I was ready to sit down and watch it, I read somewhere that they said, every time a new season comes out, people go watch from the beginning again to understand the things that they missed. And the last season wasn't finished yet, so I said, "Well, I'll wait until the last season goes up, so I don't have to watch all 4 seasons, like 7 times or whatever it would work."
I don't want to spoil anything, but I'll say that the thing that actually is confusing is it's not a spoiler. You won't know. This tells
Okay.
nothing. The reason you can rewatch it so many times is the family tree itself is so confusing because timey-wimey stuff. So
Hmm.
it's like, yeah, just
Yeah, they
just
implied
that
that you
alone, you're
learn
like,
something in a season,
oh God.
and then you get to uncover all this stuff from the first season, and then the
Yep,
third season happens, and there's stuff in the first and the second season that'll make more sense.
yep. It's
So
it's
Dark.
it's really it's well done.
So Dark is a watch in you guys' opinion.
Well,
Definitely
I haven't
for
seen
me.
it yet. I'm not.
Okay.
But I'm excited to watch it.
So it's like Doctor Who, but not like quite as out there. Is that what you're
Um,
telling me, well, Alex?
it's uh, I don't know how to. I call Doctor Who fantastical, but it's also like it's so much more lighthearted. Dark is dark, and also it, the
Makes
grit
sense.
factor and I don't know. Just I love Doctor Who. I love it because it's so lighthearted. It's an easy watch. I can just turn it on.
Yep.
But this one is it's not a neat. It's a challenging watch, but in a good way.
Okay. Yeah, Doctor Who was like it's like I have a certain level of sci-fi that I like and enjoy, but then it's like Doctor Who was just like a little bit too weird for my taste. If that hopefully that doesn't like lose me too much
Oh,
credit
everybody's
or
dropping off the
whatever.
live stream now that you said that. I'm kidding. I have no idea. You have you had Counterpart on your list.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen Counterpart, Alex?
I have not.
I'm really sad that they canceled it. It's a very hard show to talk about without spoiling
That's
Okay.
absolutely true.
everything.
But I'll say that guy J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling? Oh, no, that's the
Simmons.
lady. He's a fantastic writer. No, he's not a
Yeah,
fantastic
no,
writer.
he's
He
a
might
good
be a good
actor,
writer.
though.
I don't know.
Let me grab my wand.
I put on my robe and wizard hat. You guys get
Yes.
that reference?
I get that. I understand
Oh,
that reference.
awesome. Yes. But
Do, do you, I don't want to. I'm gonna. If you folks have seen Counter, I'm gonna try not to give anything away. I watched the first season when it came out, and I'm disappointed that they canceled it and there's no third season. But when I picked up the second season a year later, I had no idea who I was watching. I didn't
right.
remember enough details about each of the characters to
Ah.
Right.
You know
And
what I'm talking about.
I know what you're
Jeremy.
talking
and
about.
anybody who's seen it knows what. And for the almost the entire first episode of the second season, I was just trying to get my brain back to figure out who was who. And
I
it was-
watched a trailer for it, and it spoiled the trailer spoiled the concept reveal.
Oh,
Um,
well, if you know
Yeah.
the concept, you know what I was confused about. Because
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
which
Yeah.
viewpoint was I watching? And I didn't
Exactly.
know at first. Yeah,
Yeah.
that trailer was only like it was like a minute long, and I was just like, stop.
yeah.
yeah. Sometimes, it's like, I mean, I guess it's a spoiler, but like if somebody had, if somebody hadn't seen The Matrix and somebody's like, yeah, they're in like a different world and
What?
like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
thanks
yeah,
for
like
What are
telling
you
me that.
talking? What's the
when they
Matrix? No.
when they download it into his brain. Are you
Yeah,
gonna watch the new one?
Yeah, for
okay,
sure.
okay. Let
Oh,
me let
I'm
me ask you
very
guys:
excited.
do you think it's gonna be awesome, or you think it's gonna be horrible? Because I feel like,
I
or
could
maybe you think
flip a
it's gonna be in the
coin.
middle.
I think it's gonna be good. I think they've had some years to get past the second two that came out still had really good concepts, but I think they were so dialed in on the fight scenes with the CGI and
Hmm.
stuff. I
Yeah.
think they've had time to get past that, and now they're going to come back to the concepts. One of the Wachowskis is back on it, so I
Yep.
don't know. I think there's a good chance it's going to be very good.
Yeah, a
Well,
lot of people say that they only had one good Matrix movie, but I think it was good right up until the end of the second movie, where things went off the rails and then
It
got goofed. Like 90% of the way through the second movie, if I remember the movie well enough.
I love the film. You guys watch the film theories on YouTube?
I've watched more than a few of those.
He's got a couple good ones about the
Yeah.
Matrix. One of them is that Agent Smith is actually the one. That one's really
Oh,
cool.
yeah, I've heard this theory. Yep.
Yeah, I love that one.
well, you see that they've got apparently a new Morpheus on this, a new guy playing Morpheus or new whatever.
Oh,
You know why they couldn't get the old guy? What was that guy's name? The
Lawrence Fishburne.
yeah.
Lawrence. It's because he had to grow his hair out for the Pee Wee Herman reunion show they're doing.
Well, I knew he was on the Pee Wee Herman show.
Oh, come on! This is a joke. I'm just.
Oh, I
I
believe
was-
you. Why wouldn't this be true? I could believe this. Did
I
you
mean,
guys
maybe
watch the new Pee Wee movie? New. It's like 5 years old, but the Netflix Pee Wee movie?
No, I didn't know
I
that was a
enjoyed it a
thing.
lot. I was like, this is like being a kid again. It was fantastic.
There was. I was watching this documentary. It was on the. It was
Cowboy
like on
Curtis.
Huey's Big
what?
Hollow.
You're talking about Cowboy Curtis, is Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah, I
Is that
guess.
right?
I don't know. I just thought I thought that was going to be a funnier joke than apparently it was. Um, but so I was watching this documentary. It was on the early Israeli Air Force or something. Basically how they uh, fought whatever the early wars and stuff. And basically, they're talking and they're like, yeah, well, this guy's son was actually Pee Wee Herman, and then Pee Wee Herman's on the show all of a sudden. I was like, that was unexpected,
Totally unexpected.
or whatever his real name. I assume his name isn't really Pee Wee.
Paul Rubens.
Okay, yeah. So then it's
We
like,
learned Pee Wee Herman's name during his incident back in the
oh,
90s. Everybody learned his name.
yeah,
Or Pee Wee.
yeah. It was that was kind of like before I guess I was young enough that I didn't get exposed to a lot of yeah, it was like I heard about it, but I didn't quite know what was going on. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's a watch for you guys. The new Matrix. You think? Not that
I'm
you've seen
definitely
it.
going to watch it. Are you guys
Yeah.
going to watch the new Dune movie?
I would
I have
like
a friend
to.
who's very excited that it's available today at some time today. It might be available right now for all I know
Huh?
on HBO.
Might be a weekend watch.
Yeah, I'll probably see it. I don't know. Hopefully Patrick Stewart will make a cameo.
That would be fun.
I mean, I imagine he won't, but
You're probably right.
because
But
he was the guy that trained Paul Atreides, right?
yeah,
Because I never actually saw the movie, but I read the book.
I hear the
I
book's
saw
way better
parts
than
of
the
the
movie.
movie.
The old movie. I don't want to
I-
say this. I just recently read
Well,
that David Lynch refuses to talk about Dune, the movie.
Who is that the author of?
He was the director. He's
Well, the thing-
very famous. I mean, he's done a lot of amazing films. But
I mean, how did they expect somebody to do a good job in that movie? The writing worms around through the sand,
yeah,
and these airplane things that are obviously not airplanes. They're like like dragonflies
Bugs.
or something. It's like yeah. It's not.
well, now we
you
have
know-
the CGI for that.
Now we have the CGI. That's right. No, I don't know. It might be good. I mean, I don't know. I enjoyed the book. I don't think I read past the first one, but
Well, I'm
know.
excited that I don't have to go to a theater to see it, so it just has to
Yeah.
be okay, and I won't like. I'd be mad if I drove to the theater, got my popcorn, waded through the trailers, and then was disappointed.
But they're gonna make that book into like 2 or 3 movies, right?
They're
Is that?
hoping at least 2. I thought. I thought it was
I'm not cool with that. I feel like
no.
one book, one movie. That should be like a,
It's a
you know,
it's a thick book though, isn't it?
That is a big book.
I yeah, it was. I don't remember. It was a good. What? It didn't seem like it was that big, but
I've heard it's like as far as sci-fi is concerned, I've heard it's like one of the hardest reads. Like of the super popular.
I believe that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I read. I don't remember it being that hard to read, but I'm a read at least on an 11th grade level. They say.
I think more not necessarily like Ulysses or something like with this kind of challenging grammar, more like there's so many people and factions involved, and like you need a chart to so yeah, it's impressive.
I'll be honest. My well, I was gonna say it was like basically Lord of the Rings in space, but that's not quite. It's not
No,
quite
but
right.
I understand the parallel that you're drawing there. I mostly avoid fantasy novels because there's just so much description of so much stuff that I just want the story to move along. And I'm getting old, Jeremy. When I watched the Star Wars, I don't remember which one. Maybe one of the new couple of movies, maybe one of the side movies.
Well, you'd have to define that.
I know, right? But new, like in the final 3, or one of the ones in between, maybe the Han Solo one.
Okay.
I'm sitting here watching it. Every time they get into a lightsaber and blaster fight, I'm like, come on, just skip this. I don't need to watch all this zooming around stuff. Just get to the story. Let me know what happens next.
My problem with, okay, so there's a couple scenes where, the Jedis fight like the guards for Palpatine or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like in several of the movies, they fight them. It's like, no, the Jedi is always going to win this. I mean, they never lose against whatever normal.
Yeah,
I'd say humans, but they're not
human. We know
human.
what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, well, they're going to.
That's a good metric. Is there a time in any of the known battles that have occurred between henchmen/guard types where they overcame even a single Jedi? Is that like a thing that happened?
I don't think
I would
so.
wonder.
I don't think it is either.
Unless I was going to say, unless you count when Anakin slaughtered all the young ones, but that's not really.
Yeah, he's not a henchman.
really.
He's got plot armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that always seems kind of pointless to me. but
I'm getting old.
yeah, so yeah,
I keep refreshing your Kickstarter. Every 10 minutes or so here to see if the number goes up.
It's according to my poll, it actually does affect it. The more you refresh your Kickstarter page, the more.
So I'm helping.
The more it helps. Yeah. So every F5 helps. Or maybe that doesn't. No, that doesn't help. I don't think, but maybe it does.
We can tell people that it helps.
It's like the shipping.
Yeah, like with shipping.
You just have to check it.
Yeah. Hey, what's this? What's the show you got here? Only Murders in the Building, Pat.
Only Murders in the Building. I'm probably 1 or 2 episodes away from the end. I bet it's Steve Martin and Martin Short in a show on Hulu.
Yeah.
I mean, as soon as if I saw either of those names in a show, right, I would watch it, right? But now it's both of them in the same show, so totally, you have to watch it. It's a mystery, and it keeps getting more complicated. It's interesting. I keep getting surprised, and it's enjoyable because Steve Martin and Martin Short are just delightful, always.
Steve, yeah, I think I always get them confused with.
It's 2 of the 3 amigos.
Okay.
It's
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that sounds good. I don't have Hulu, so honestly, I probably won't
Oh man,
pick that up. But
you're missing out.
Well, I kind of cycle through. I'm on the Netflix now, and I was on HBO before, and I don't know. Maybe I'll do something later.
It makes sense.
Disney Plus is always like maybe I should get that, but then it's like I got kids, so they're never going to let me not get it.
Yep.
I mean, they'll do. They don't pay the bills, so if they don't pay it, they're not going to have it. But
It's true.
they're not going to make me happy about it either. You know what I'm saying?
I
I
can
do.
definitely plot and place raisins in inconvenient places.
Yeah. Um, well, I don't know, Pat, do you think that's I guess we've been going on for an hour and a half now.
Yeah,
It's
I
funny.
think we've done a good job.
We Alex, we thought we'd have you on for like 10 minutes, but it never really goes that way when we have somebody on that's interesting. So
Oh,
so
thanks.
thanks so much for taking the time out of your day. Hopefully we didn't screw up your schedule too bad.
No, this was fun.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see what's going on with you guys. I really hope that your Kickstarter continues to have success too. It's very cool.
Oh, well, thanks so much. Hope this didn't come up with too much of like a commercial for it, but it's been
No,
it's
well, it's
what I've
on your
been
mind,
working on.
and it
It's
makes
on my
sense to
mind.
talk about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
It's a
And
cool
they
thing.
say, Jeremy, that what I remember from when we were planning a Kickstarter was that you tend to have a big surge at the beginning and a big surge at the end. So
yeah. Well, yeah, that's
I
what I've
expect,
heard.
if nothing else happens, I expect that you'd at least double this at the other end.
I hope so. I guess my future plans for promoting it are, you know, there's a maker fair in Orlando that I'll be at. If you happen to be there, I'd love to meet you. But basically, I'm going to promote it there, and that'll be a few days before it ends. So hopefully I'll be able to convince some people to support it. And then apparently tomorrow, our friend Nova Tech Spirit, or
Nova Spirit Tech.
Nova Spirit Tech, sorry, he's going to do a video on it. So that's going to be I think that'll probably be pretty good too. So we'll see
Yeah,
what.
his content is his audience is relevant to your
Yes.
macro pad, which is nice.
Yeah, yeah. So I always screw names up. I've probably done that probably 100 times in this show. So my
I'm
apologies.
trying to like poor J.K. Simmons, J. Jonah Jameson. He's been J. Jonah Jameson for 3 different Spider-Men so far in the movies.
I
I did not know
quit
that.
watching Spider-Man after the Tobey Maguire.
Well, he was J.
Series.
Jonah Jameson for Tobey Maguire, and he still is, as far as I know, today. Well, they
who
haven't
is
had
this-
him.
who is this
He doesn't
person?
work for the paper yet, the new Spider-Man, so we don't actually know that.
Ah,
But the previous 2, were
huh.
there 2 more? I don't.
Is that J.K. Simmons?
That's
Sorry,
J.K. Simmons.
oh, he's the.
He's
Because
the
yeah, he's like a character actor, I guess.
Yeah.
Before blowing up now, in Counterpart, which
in those
really
State Farm commercials too.
and State Farm Counterpart and Goliath too. I was gonna mention that.
He was
Goliath
also
was
the.
fantastic.
I didn't see that one.
The last season to me was a bummer, but the first
Hmm.
2 seasons were fantastic.
It's a little weird, but you got to see
Goliath.
Mr. J.K. Simmons, flex his muscles a
Oh,
lot.
is
So
he in there too?
the last season of Goliath, yeah, he's like the bad guy. Not the
Gosh, I really don't remember the last season.
maybe you didn't see the last season.
There's a scene in the first season of Goliath. It's of everything in that show I remember. Is this a spoiler?
Wow, he got ripped.
Yeah,
Holy cow!
I'm trying to. I was trying to figure out how old that guy is, and he's got to be like, I don't know, late 50s, I guess, at least. But yeah, it's quite a. Makes me think I should be in better shape than I am, I guess.
Yeah, his shoulder had like 11 lines in it.
Well, until you get to 12, it's not really. much to
That
brag
why
about.
are you even trying?
Do you even lift, bro?
Yeah. Well, it's probably a good place to end it.
I
Yeah.
believe
And,
you, Jeremy.
What's that?
I believe you, Jeremy. Where can we find
Yeah.
you on the internet, Jeremy? That's something
Well-
we're supposed to put in the episode.
Yeah, so my website is jeremyscook.com. You can find me on YouTube if you search for Jeremy S. Cook, and on Twitter at Jeremy S. Cook is a good place to find me as well. What about you? Oh, and I am not on TikTok, but I don't even know if you could search for me on that
My
anyway.
phone. I'm gonna get on TikTok right now. That's good.
What about you, Alex? Are you on TikTok? Are you
I
you log
am, but I do like little bogus things that I tinker around with on there. But my project is just Clockopedia, just clockopedia.com. I'm
Do
just
we
gonna
get to
turn it
use
in.
it, or is it just for you?
It's everybody. If you, it's only got Gmail sign in for right now. So I don't do password management stuff, so I rely on OAuth. But
Nobody wants
yeah,
to do password management. It's the worst.
no, no. So yeah,
Clockopedia with an I, not Clockopedia.
yeah,
I wanted to
Clockopedia.
type Clockopedia. I know that's not spelled right, but it's just that's what I.
Yeah, so
Clockipedia?
it's
Clockipedia. We should have mentioned it earlier. What, like
Well, we can
10
we can
times.
edit this into the beginning of the episode.
nah, it's
Yeah.
it's it's still brand new, but yeah, I think it has some potential. But it does suck. Like if you don't really use TikTok, you can only just receive from it because you won't have any content to put on there.
Okay.
Hmm.
So but yeah,
Okay.
if you ever do decide to start making content for it, it's a great way to organize it uh, in a like a nice viewable package so you can send someone a link of it.
Nice. And I've only viewed it on my computer, but I assume it's more of a phone-based web app. It probably looks a
Yes,
little bit better
yes,
on that.
it
Okay.
does.
Nice. Not
It
that I'm trying
does.
to demean it on desktop
No,
experience.
I am one developer. It is totally fine. I like all criticism,
You're
please.
doing a good job, I imagine.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I mean, I don't really know yet. But I logged in. That's all I've got. I
Nice.
don't know what to
Oh,
do now because I don't have anything to do. But
let's see.
I'm in
Yep,
here.
there it is. Pat's head at Gmail. I got you.
That's me.
Hey, you're a trailblazer. I
Woo.
automatically give everybody who signs up for like the
Oh,
first, I don't know,
that's exciting.
your account has an exemption type called trailblazer.
Now I'm gonna have to
Yes.
log into TikTok and
So
look
yeah,
this up.
you can find Pat on Trailblazer
I'm
on
a trailblazer on
Clockopedia
Clockopedia with an I, not an
with
O.
an I. Yeah.
Well, the
And we're
second the second O is an I. I mean, it's still
yeah.
clock, not click.
It's
I'm
like
really making this confused. I'm sorry.
some
Clickopedia.
somebody asked me
I gotta see if that's real.
somebody asked me on the phone. He say, "Oh, do you?" I said, "Jeremy Cook." Is like, "Oh, do you spell that with a C or a K?" I was like, "Well, both."
Yes, both.
Clickopedia is real. It's a Chrome web app.
Click Ipedia or click Opedia?
Yes. That's great.
What about you, Pat? Where can we find you
Oh,
besides
it'll be
Clickopedia,
linked
of
down in the
course?
thing. I'm at patshead.com. I haven't written anything in like 2 months. I'm very disappointed in
It's a great
myself.
advertisement.
I'm gonna have to do a better job. Well, there's lots of good content there, Jeremy. I've been writing for like 11 and a half years or something. I can verify that. I should
Okay.
check that.
Yeah.
And I'm
All
on
right.
YouTube, and I'm on the Creativity Podcast with my lovely co-host Jeremy scook.com.
That's right. That's right. Well, cool. Well, thanks, Alex. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah,
Thanks
Thank
for
you
talking
guys
with
for
us.
good to
having
meet
me.
you, Alex.
Yeah, likewise.
Thank
It
Yeah,
was
you.
fun.
good to meet you, Alex.
Yes, yes, yes. Stranger. All right, guys. Bye.
All
Take
right,
care.
you guys.
Should
So
I hit the stop?
yeah,